friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 2 of the fretboard adjustment, if you like, to turn this instrument into a dulcimer. I'm not quite sure where the first video left off because I lost power and the camera shut down, so apologies for that, but I think you probably saw me removing the frets from the fretboard, and what I'm doing now is with a single edge razor blade, I'm just cleaning up the fretboard. So let me just zoom back in. Okay, so I'm just using my single edge razor blade just to clean up the fretboard. There's a little bit of glue residue here and there, and also the fretboard's got a little bit grimy. Not from use, if I'm honest, because I haven't had much chance to play any of my instruments for a while, but it's just, you know, where it's been sat around, it's gathered dust, and you know, it's just got a little bit grimy, so I'm just giving it a clean up. It's not bad, it's just, you know, just a bit yucky. It's coming up nice. A little bit of glue on this part here, just going to get some more of that off. So what I was saying at the end of the first video, I'm not sure if you caught it or not, I'm not going to fill in these fret slots. Normally I would, and the way you do that is you mix sawdust with a little bit of wood glue into a paste basically, or a filler, and you literally fill in the slots. I'm not going to do that on this, just in case I do decide to put all the frets back in. I probably won't, but if I do decide to, you know, the slots are already there, and the slots being there are not going to be any problem whatsoever to playing or using this instrument. You know, it's not, because it's a slot as opposed to a bump or anything, it's not going to get in the way, it's not going to be any kind of problem, so I'm going to leave them open. Not going to bother to film me. Okay. So I'm now at the original 12th fret. Just thinking actually as well, I might need to, I probably will need to redo the fret markers on the side of the neck. I haven't thought of that, but that's not a big problem right now. I'm not going to worry about doing that just now. That's a job for another day. Okay, so as you get down towards the body end of the fretboard, frets start getting closer together. It's a little bit more tricky to do this, more fiddly. It's not really tricky, just a bit fiddly. Quite a bit of glue down here, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Scrape that off, no problem. It's not so critical there because that's beyond my now last fret, so I wouldn't actually be using that part of the fretboard. Right, okay, so that's the fretboard scraped. I'll just grab a brush, get rid of all the muck. As for actually inside the slots, I can get out any gunk in there just with a brush, that's no problem. Okay, so next part is to oil the fretboard. Still with me? Yes. Because it's gone a bit dry. So a little bit of boiled linseed oil on the fretboard just to rejuvenate it a bit, give it a bit of a drink. It's got a bit thirsty. Make sure I get all alongside all of the frets as well. Really did need a drink, it was quite thirsty. Okay, so I'll leave that for a couple of minutes just to soak in a bit. And while that's doing that, I'll just tidy the bench up. Try and keep things tidy from now on as I go along. As best I can anyway. Right. Just put everything away. That blade I can use again, didn't use that much. So these frets, as I said, I'm gonna throw those away. I'll do that later. Let's see, what else have we got? Okay, I'm just gonna put everything out of my way at the moment, not actually put everything away. Okay, so I need another cloth just to wipe off that excess oil. Okay, that's looking better. That's good. Yeah, looking much better now. Okay, so that's it done. So I'm going to take this little clip off here to release the strings. And put them back in their slots and tune it back up. Just looking actually, yeah, I am going to need to redo the side dots, but I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, so I need to tune it back up. So I'm going to do the middle string first. To even out tension. Okay, so I'll put my clip-on tuner on, which you're not going to see. Let's just move that down a bit actually, so you can see. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Let's just zoom in a bit more. Okay, so middle string up to D. Sorry, what am I talking about? It's A. It is D. I'm getting confused between the two instruments. D. Okay. And then outer strings both to G. Underneath the string tree, sit out. There we go. Okay, we're almost up to pitch. It'll probably need retuning a couple of times to get it to settle. Okay, so that's in tune. So this, the dulcimer, so it's known as a stick dulcimer, and there is a brand made by a chap called McNally, can't remember his first name, and he calls it the strum stick. So it's a brand name. It's his brand name, so no one else can actually use that name. It's called a strum stick, and he makes, or his company makes two different sorts. So they make one that's DAD, and they make another one which is GDG. So that's this one, but it's an octave higher than this one. So this one is the DAD, and they also do a GDG, which is higher than this. So it's one octave higher than this one. But obviously, because it's the same tuning, you can play the same tunes, just an octave lower on this one. So that's what I'm going to do. So basically, these two instruments are now going to be the same. They're both going to be effectively dulcimers, but in two different keys. One in the key of D, one in the key of G. And it's quite easy to transpond songs from G to D and from D to G. It's quite easy to transpond the different keys. Okay, so let me just make sure this is up to pitch, more or less. Okay, so that's tuned up. So with this dulcimer, I'm just going to, just demonstrate a couple of easy tunes. And there are different ways to play these instruments, but generally you strum all three strings and you fret the highest string, and the other two are basically drone strings. I mean, that's it in its simplest form. There's a bit more to it than that. Can't remember the name of that song. Aunt Rody or something like that. So this is in a different key, but I can basically play the same thing. I've got to get used to where everything is now. Excuse me. Okay, so now I can play, the same kinds of songs on both of these instruments, just in different keys. And it's just, for me, it's easier to play it like that. So I am going to have to, as I said, sort out the fret dot markers on there, because it's confusing, because it's the fret dot markers that are on there are for a full scale fretboard. So I'm going to have to change all of those, which is, it's going to be a bit of a faff, but it's not too bad. And that may well be another video. I don't know yet, because I'm not going to change it right now. I just wanted to do the main part of it, which I've done. So let's see if I can remember another song. That's the wrong key for that. Drunken Sailor, the wrong key. I'll just play the same one again. Rody or something like that. Oh, sorry. And the same one on this one. So it's the same song, same fingering, it's just a different key. So that's that little job done. Nice and easy. As I said, apart from the fret dot markers, which will be 5 times longer than it actually took to do this, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet, so I'll have a little think about that, and as I said, I may video that one, because it may or may not be interesting. Okay, so I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you soon. Peace out.